All right. We are live. I need to get a better lighting situation here. Oh, I'm dead tired again, even though I got like a full 8 hours of sleep. Okay, do I have everything that I need set up? I think so. So let me go get these links posted in the Discord. All right, so we've got our base building plugin. It's now more or less working. Although I think there is a better way that I can do what I was trying to do. What I was trying to do was make sure that when you start a new foundation, you can't build on this area again. I mean, right now it just works. So maybe I'm not going to worry about that. Let's take a look at our README and just see what we had planned for the future. I also might not actually work on this plugin. I might go back to working on my main game. Rotation. Passing animations. Add previews to connections. Show which ones are on and off. Yeah. Yeah, let's go to connection. Let's add a CSG box. Material, new shader material. We're going to load in our ghost shader. Maybe we do like that. Let's try this. Let's call it preview node. We're going to go here. Set monitor. We've got handle update connections. We're going to set this to hidden, and then we're going to do preview node dot show. Else preview node dot hide. Perfect. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay. So that kind of shows us where we can build. It still shows the center pieces. Okay, let's go to a wall. Nice, that shows that. Okay, let's do ceiling. There we go. Yeah. It might be a little bit too much to do that for everything. Hey, good morning, afternoon, what is it? It is good morning, because I am living in Finland. How's it going? Entertainment3333. Also, thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is morning. I'm definitely very tired. Still waking up. Let's see here. This is... I think it's pretty nice to have... Let's do preview node. Let's just make it a lot... let's do something like a little bit thinner. Let's do another thing where we could have a wait, what is it? Static funk. Nah, I don't think we need a static here. We could do something like at export var shows previews bool equals true. Then our DS, nope, we need our DSBB global. Toggle connection previews value. This is going to be a boolean. I'm going to go here to void. GD script or C#? I use GD script. I don't really know C# at all. GD script is simple for me. I can handle it. C# I haven't spent any time working with really, so. But I really like GD script. Let's actually grab our connection script. Shows preview. We're just going to do this, put it in here. Show previews equals value, and then we can do, back in our connection, we can just do DSBB global dot show previews equals true. Preview node dot show else preview node dot hide. Okay, let's make sure this works. Nice. Okay, and then if I go into my DSBB global, and I change this to false. Okay, and then we don't see them. All right. That's good. This is the function can call to disable or enable connection previews. Okay. All right, so we have that. Okay, let's go to my README, update that real quick. Okay, so that's good. And then let's quit to our project list and let's go look at our fun project, which is this one. I'm going to update my stream title. Sci Fi Battle in Godot. Perfect. All right, let's see how this works. My window, I downloaded this window manager. It doesn't really work that well. All right. Here's the project we were working on. And we are going to continue to work on it. I got taken out. First things first is we can get rid of our main character here. Because our character is not going to be this little probe guy, actually. I've got a better character design for him. Here, let me... There we go. Yeah, this window manager does not work that well. Not going to lie. Fancy window manager. I can't seem to drag windows into it correctly and make it behave how I want. I just want like a basic tiling thing, and it just doesn't work on my other screen hardly at all. Anyway, my main screen, it doesn't matter as much. But all right, so we got this. Let's go ahead and open up Blender. Actually, wait. We don't really need Blender. What we need is on the player some GPU particles. Let's go ahead and hide our... Well, first let's move this guy up. And then let's go ahead and hide our probe. Okay, GPU particles, we're doing amount 12. Let's do like 30. Amount ratio 1. Okay, time, lifetime, blah, blah, blah. Sweet. Process material, new process, particle process material. We're going to do a quad mesh. This quad mesh needs to billboard. Okay. This material needs to have an albedo. Okay. Emission needs to be on. We're doing an emission of something like that. Okay. Spawn position needs to be maybe a sphere. No, we're doing a point. Angle. This is more like sparks. Let me go ahead and if I just open up another Godot window. This is with the console open. I don't know why. I need this. Oh, okay. Well, Godot. That's the console. Stable 4.3. There we go. 4.4. I have too many of these. 3D RPG. Edit normally. All right, we're gonna grab our particle creatures from this game. Can I just copy this? Okay, I don't think I can. But what I can do is just go here, go to drawing. We have emitting 24. Let's do 24. Mount ratio. Okay, perfect. Time. Randomness. 0.19. Oh, that was explosiveness. 0.19. Negative 0.5. Negative 0.5. Negative 0.5. 1. Okay. Process material. Particle process material. Spawn has position. Oh, it is a sphere. Oh, yeah, because we're doing... Okay. Sphere. And it's 1, 1, 1. Okay, cool. We didn't do anything to angle or velocity. We gotta reset these. And then accelerations, that's where we have it. Gravity. 0. Linear acceleration. We got negative 12. We'll do negative 13. Okay. Radial acceleration. We've got, what do we have? 20 and 20. Negative 20. Negative 20.5, I guess. There we go. Now we're starting to get it. Damping. Max around 10. Sick. Drop passes, we just have the material here, which does have, okay, so our material, we do have some transparency, which is alpha. We're doing multiply. Cull mode disabled. Then our emission, we got 2.0. There we go. Now we're getting there. Okay, I think we're about good there. We're gonna set this that to right there, and then we're gonna do a warmer yellow glow. And let's see how this looks. It's kind of interesting that it doesn't inherit the velocity, right? Which I think it might need to. I need these to trail after. Let's also do like 45, and let's do this size spawn. We do more like 2. Let's do like 15 on this. We can do like 3 on energy. Okay. But why are these all just being attached and not? We might have to reopen this one again. Godot 4.4 stable. Perfect. Drawing. Transform a line. Z billboard. I don't know what that is. Okay, I turned off local chords. There we go. Okay. Nice. Okay, so now we have that. Let's do like 100. And let's make sure our particles, let's do like a 0.2 and a 0.2. Okay, next thing. We got to grab from our animal scenes, we got to go to our floater head. Nope, not floater head. Our light neck. And we need another GPU, particles 3D. I can copy this, I just can't paste it into here, right? That's too bad that I can't copy between them. Okay, we'll do another GPU particles. Nope, that's a GPU trail. Change type. GPU particles 3D. Okay. We need emitting. We need amount 2. Time. We need 0.1. Speed scale 8. Explosiveness 0. Fixed FPS. We can do 30 FPS. I feel like on these we should do like 60 FPS or something. Okay, pre-process. Particle process material. Box mesh, I believe, right? Yeah. Okay, so on particle process, we need to do spawn, position, sphere. Okay, I guess we're doing sphere. Emission sphere needs to be 0.1. And then we have an angle. Just 226. Okay. We'll just go up to about there. Okay, good. Velocity, we have nothing but accelerations. Oops. We got gravity. Assume, yep, just turning gravity off. Okay, and it looks like that's all there is for that. So now we can go to our draw process, or draw passes, and see what kind of we have material, new, standard material. We're gonna go like this, and do albedo. On this, I'm going to do kind of a yellowish. Then we're going to have some emission, I assume. Yep. And we're going to have kind of a yellowish. Okay, sweet. Turn off cast shadow. Should also do that on these. New Jank, what's up, brother? How is it? Tired, but just woke up to stream. Dude, it is. Oh, it's good to hear those again. I don't have enough people popping those off. Good to see you too, man. Yeah, I'm now fully moved in to Finland. Whoa, what happened to my... particles. So I'm fully moved in. What is that? Why is it stretching like that? Ah, why is it doing this? How you liking it so far? I'm loving it. Honestly. I'm having a good time. It's pretty sick being... This is the first time, like, being in a whole new place, moving. Plus, then I don't have to do long-distance relationship, which is obviously great. Do I have some sort of transform? Here, I want to show you this project. I don't know why this guy is being all weird, though. Am I accidentally grabbing, like, the shape of it or something? Why would setting the transform completely mess up my particle mesh? Whatever, I'm not going to worry about it. Show me what you've been working on. So, oh, okay, now it looks fine. Although I need to adjust the look. This is what we're working on right here. Whoop. What we got is a giant space battle. Sci Fi Battle. And you, the character, are just here to observe. And you are this little creature I'm trying to build right now. Pretty much all you do is watch this happen while a story plays out. There might be some puzzle elements or something. But otherwise, it's pretty much you just kind of observing things that are happening. I need to do a death animation for these guys. But I want to do as little gameplay as possible and as much vibes as possible. And this isn't going to be the only story. This right here is just the like, one of the stories. But I want to do where you go to a bunch of different worlds where a bunch of crazy stuff is happening and just watch something go down. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. I love these, like, tracers and stuff. That's what I'm loving. But you're going to have, like, a home hub. So this is my way of dealing with the fact that I can't stop starting new projects. Is that you're going to have a home hub world where you go visit these other smaller worlds or other small worlds. And so I can start a new project whenever I want. It will just be within the same game. So kind of like in Myst, how you go to different ages. I'll just have whole new worlds with completely different settings. And, you know, I could do a fantasy world, a cozy world. Completely different art styles for each world, because every new place you go to is a new dimension. So this first one is just a big sci-fi mech battle, but great atmosphere. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm trying to do, is just like do what I'm good at, which is just vibes mostly. I just want to have a cool vibe captured. This guy needs to have a little bit more. Let's see, these things need to have a little more brightness to them. Not shading albedo. And then these particles might need to not have local chords. Or I mean, might need to have local chords. How did I do that? Yeah, okay. Nice. It does have an outline on it, which I'm not a big fan of. And these particles need to be much brighter. I know what you mean about project hopping. I'm a little over a month into my current project, though, and I'm still going strong, so maybe I'm coming out of it. Potentially. I mean, I feel like half of it is just finding the one that you're actually really, really wanting to finish. Because that is, I mean, then part of it is just forcing yourself to finish, but I don't want to have to do that unless I, really need to. But yeah, some of it is just finding the one that you just really, really want. So like 6, I guess. Let's see how that is. Been uploading short progress vids. I've seen a couple of them. That one, like, that's the one in the kind of tunnel / dungeon sort of setup. Because that looks sick. I should take another look at your YouTube channel real quick. Let me do 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. And then these should be a little bit more yellowish. Let's see how that works. Okay, you got those there. Okay, this looks pretty good, except for the fact that a big chunk of them trail behind you. Yeah, but honestly, I don't mind this. I could make the emission sphere a little bit smaller. Okay, I'll take a look. How will the story be delivered? Will there be a narrator? Yes and no. So there'll be a narrator in the home world, like the hub world, that tells you where you're going and what you're going to see. But otherwise, they'll be like, especially on this world, you're just going to be like spawned into this section. Something will happen, like a pre-scripted thing, and then you're going to hear over the radio like the guys fighting their way down the streets. Because I'm thinking I'm going to make a mech model, and there'll be like a team of mechs that are fighting their way through the city while all this stuff is happening. And then you just follow them as they open. They might like open a big gate that's blocking something, and then you just follow them through, and you're just kind of there hanging out while all this is happening. You can't really take damage from anything. Ooh, I really like that, being able to like make. I'm not going to make it so you can fly, but I almost want to. The problem with making it so you can fly is that you can't. Is that then I have to make it so you can't access certain places that are unfinished. Actually, I kind of can make it so you can access places that are unfinished, because I've kind of built it into the world that the character who is showing you all of these different worlds is basically just me, the game maker. And so I can kind of break the fourth wall and be like, this area over here, it's not done. So just go back to this spot or something. Here, let me take a look, though. I saw the fluid rendering one. Let's see here. Did I see the cave test one? Dude, I love the weird angles and stuff. Are you doing the angular stuff in a like procedural way, or are there just a few like base meshes that they can have Need to record one of the actual gameplay. Yeah, so I saw Cave Test 2. Yeah, this is the one where you got the lighting and stuff. And the fog. Oh. I love that gun, too. Oh, and the way it moves around. That's really satisfying. The fog really adds a lot. Yeah, and then the fluid rendering one I saw. How do you do underwater? Because I had the same issue in my game where like you pop under the water and then it just kind of disappears. How are you planning on doing that? Let me get my music turned back on. It's basically a tile map where each tile's corners have their own height values, and I'm building the mesh around it. Okay, yeah. No clue about the water just yet. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with that. Probably just do an overlay shader. Okay. Something over the camera. So one thing I'm trying to figure out is how much to just script on this project versus have run randomly. Like these tanks, they just find a target near them and start shooting at it and moving towards it. Or actually, they don't even move towards the target. They just move towards predetermined spots. Oh, new jank. I got to show you something real quick. Maybe just give it a wiggle with the blue filter. That sounds amazing. Yeah, that's perfect. This one, by the way, is called Jank Jam because I started the project thinking I was going to make it for the Jank Jam, and then I, halfway through it, or right after starting it, realized that it was the other theme, and then ended up going to Helsinki and not being able to do really anything, so I just pretty much gave up on the Jank Jam because I was trying to build something, and then I ended up having to go to Helsinki with my wife to the to her family, so I wasn't able to do much. But I still need to actually participate in one of these because I need to learn how to do a project from start to finish. But so my base building system. All good, yo. Most people did, which is understandable. For some reason, I actually got like kind of far into the project, and then I was like, wait a second, don't game jams have themes? And then I like looked at it and like, okay, well, I guess I could do another project, but by then, yeah, it was just classic life busyness. But so my base building system in my survival game, I'm trying to pull out and make into a plugin for other people to use. So I've built the same system but made it more scalable. And I want people to try it out once it's like in version 1. So we have the same sort of thing. I have some base components that you can use. Or either base components. Well, I mean, these are base components that you can remove or you can keep in there or customize. So we have like triangle foundations, triangle ceilings, walls, foundations. I need to maybe add one more component that is like a stairway or something. But I've got like the basics of the base building system here. And then what I have made is, if we go to our player, I have this base builder scene, which is like the thing that you attach to your player or whatever. And it has all of your components in it. You're not actually doing the arcade anymore. Okay, it's just open idea. Okay. How much time are you? Are you already done with the jam, or are you adding some extra overtime? It looks solid. Thanks. Yeah. So my system is basically you have this base builder node. You title a component of some sort. And then you have this component resource here, which has your scene, your preview scene, and then also its type. So is it a ceiling, a wall, a foundation? And the type is like a doorway and a wall are both considered a wall because they both go where a wall goes. And that's how you can add. It's a little more scalable that way with the connection system that I have. So you like add a scene, give it a type, but it's really easy to add new components. Like I'll add one now. I have a little test component. So test, and I'll do new DS component resource. I'll call it a wall. It's going to have a scene, quick load. Let's do, what was it? Demo test fail. Boom. We're going to say test for the title, and I add that. Okay. And now I have this test component, and I can place that places. And it's like really easy to add new building components to it. The main thing that you have to do with these components is like you have to set up your component so then it actually has connections on it, and those connections have to be configured a bit. Like you have to say this connection, it has an array of things that it accepts. This connection right here only accepts ceilings. I can add an element and say this one connects walls or accepts walls. But that's like the system. I think it's actually going to be pretty good for just anything base building or city building related. I think it works pretty well. I don't know how performant it is on a large scale, but it's getting there. Deadline is technically the 7th, but TBH, I've been so absorbed into my main project that I haven't done much work on the launcher yet, so we might push back the deadline. Well, if that's the case, and there's no theme, then I could do what I've wanted to do for a while anyway, which is just make a cool environment, which is kind of what I'm doing in my main project now. But I could do a second project that's just a cool environment walking sim experience. Could probably release this as an asset pack if you weren't going to use it for a personal project. Yeah, I'm just making it a plugin. So like, I want it to just be a plugin that people can use. Which means I've had to build it in a completely different way, which is really cool. It's forced me to make sure that it's scalable and easy to set up. Which, I mean, that's kind of what I want to do is like try to make plugins and assets packs or whatever just to get better at making these systems, because it made me like, okay, I've got to make it user friendly, which means I need a drop down here. I can't just make you type in what connections they accept. So that made me have to figure out the system of like, okay, we've got a component type registry, which is an enum that you can edit as well. And that gets loaded in when you're setting your connection types, your component types, because like your component type, square foundation, you assign it a component type of foundation. Like things like that, making it as easy to build components, because I want it to be where you could have like hundreds of components and it not feel really hard to add them, you know? There's some glitchiness with the previews. But yeah, like you can add these connection points anywhere on your components. So you could set it up where it's like you have a foundation that has 1, 2, 3, you know, it could have like 9 connection points just for boxes or something if you wanted to make everything kind of grid based within your build system. I saw some stuff about Valheim's sheltered implementation the other day. Sheltered, like checking whether things are within a building or... Oops. Let me get some coffee started real quick because I'm in need of caffeine. All right. They basically have like 16 raycasts pointing out of objects, and if a certain number of them collide with a structure, then the object is considered sheltered. It blew my mind because the implementation seems kind of unwieldy, but seems to work for what they need it to. It also explains the lag. Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of crazy. Here, I'll watch this.
Many of Valheim's mechanics are poorly explained, often misunderstood, but knowledge any good Valheim player should have. Cover, as one example, affects shelter, required for the function of many of the game's workbenches, beds, and refining structures. To illustrate with the beehive, these red and green lines are a visual representation of how Valheim checks how much cover a structure has, with red meaning cover is provided and green not. Many of them require a certain percentage of concealment to function, or in other cases, the absence of it, as we'll discuss in a moment. Most players' first interaction with this behavior will undoubtedly be the workbench, which requires coverage of 70% to be interacted with, otherwise producing a message indicating it's too exposed. To check its surroundings, a structure projects 17 rays, 30 meters in several directions.
I played a bit of Valheim the other day, but got to the copper stage and was like, man, I do not want to chop copper for 2 days.
And can now be used.
Love the game,
Keep
but the
in
grind
mind,
is real.
Many of these items must have a roof, which is checked by the ray protruding directly from the top of the structure. Without it, Valheim won't hesitate to let you know. This is a full list of items affected by cover, of which most require a certain percentage to function, with beehives and windmills being the exception. Bees, for instance, stop audibly buzzing when I cover the 11th ray, surpassing the 60% coverage threshold, will now indicate they need more space when interacting with them, and will no longer produce honey. However, if I then break one wall, reducing the block rays to 10 and coverage to sub 60%, they return to their happy honey-producing cells. Windmills function really similarly, right? Where their rate in which they process barley into flour, while mostly affected by wind speed, will also slow the more it is sheltered. You can both hear and see the difference in the rate it spins as I remove the interfering wall. And that's just the first of 6 misunderstood mechanics we'll cover in today's video as we detail the secrets behind stamina regeneration, food decay, damage.
That's kind of wild. Yeah, I do wonder, like, even with my little base build plugin, like, what happens when you've got, you know, just a billion of these, like, if I just start spamming, how performant is it to be having all of these area 3Ds that are all, I mean, most of them aren't monitoring, but if you have all of the same type, then they're all monitoring. Like, all of these area 3Ds are all monitoring at the same time. Then I do doorway, and now it has to turn on all of those. It's also hard to know because I'm running on my PC, which is powerful enough to make up for any performance issues for the most part. Also, the other thing I'm trying to figure out is whether or not I need to do... So right now, everything is just its own node added to the main world, I think. They're all referenced within the structure. But, like, there is a base structure whenever... Technically, this is like a million different structures because I'm placing free-floating foundations. But they're all just added to the main scene, and I'm almost wondering if I should just be like, add this mesh to one big node, regenerate the whole mesh based off of it or something. I don't know. But I think that's a little bit too much for what I'm trying to build here. I'm not trying to make something ultra scalable. I'm trying to make something easy to use for someone who's just trying to make Rust style base building. You probably optimize by disabling the component if they are a certain distance away. True. Realistically, the player can't attach a door to a floor piece that's more than a few units away. That's true. The other thing I am doing is, like, all of the connections, all of the area 3Ds that have, you know, or all of the connections that aren't of a specific type. Like, when you select foundation, none of the other component area 3Ds, like where walls and stuff go, they all shut off completely. But you still have all of the foundation ones monitoring. So, like, wherever you see these little blue indicators, those are all the foundation connections, which is a lot of little area 3Ds. So I could do something like that where it's like, okay, disable them unless they're within a certain range. But the problem is then I still have to be, like, detecting the range to the player. And then do I have to run that on all the connections every, like... I mean, I could do that, like, every 1 second or something. And then if you're within range, reactivate the area 3D, but then I'm still running a bunch of calculations, which is kind of, in a way... I mean, it would be more performant, right? Like, because I could do it at specific intervals. It wouldn't be every frame like these area 3Ds are already trying to detect. Or I could just put it on the component itself, like one check for the component. So, yeah, okay. So it could be something like this foundation tells all of its connections, hey, he's within range, now you can activate. So then I don't have to be checking from every connection point. Yeah, I think you got the right idea. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I was doing with trees in my... I had that big multi-mesh of trees where I could do like thousands upon thousands of trees and it wouldn't affect the performance. And that's basically what I was doing is I had a multi-mesh that would switch out with a real tree scene, but in a certain range. And that like got my performance way up. I could do like tens of thousands of trees before it would get a little bit unperformant. Grab my coffee real quick. Nugent, were you talking in the last 6 months about a potential move back to the West Coast? Something like that? Let me get my music back on. There we go. Okay. I'm going to switch back to my, if by talking you mean dreaming verbally, then probably. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I need to get, obviously I just moved here and there's a bunch of things I'm trying to figure out, so it'll probably be a while before I can even make it back to the States, because I got to make sure I'm not spending tons of money. I got to figure out what my financials will be now that I'm here. Love to, but just don't have the means at the moment. Yeah, I don't even know if I'll be able to make it back out to the States until like not this Christmas, but like next year's Christmas. I'm hoping to. But it is a little scary because I just don't have. I have part-time work, which is kind of enough to take care of me while I'm here. But I don't have really enough work to like be. I just can't be cavalier with my money. So, luckily I do have enough like savings where I'm not panicking. But when you get a new apartment and then have to furnish it and then put a massive, like I had to put a big deposit down on this because I'm an American, you know, and they didn't have any credit records on me and like all of this stuff. It's like, ooh, okay. Suddenly my bank account's looking a little lighter than it should, you know. Feel ya? Yeah. But one of these days, why did my input stop working? Weird. Okay. One of these days, if I do have the means, then I'll be flying back out. I can't remember, you're on the East Coast somewhere? But if we're in the verbal dreaming mode right now, it would be dope to come out and visit sometime. Come visit you wherever you are. Oh, okay, Tennessee. My geography is horrible. Let me do a quick Google Maps. I'm trying to think of where that is. Okay, so it's east, but so it's not like Midwest. I guess it kind of is, right? Because Michigan is well, Michigan isn't Midwest. But that's actually further east than I expected. I have family in, I actually have family in Georgia, but they're probably moving back to the West Coast pretty soon. And then I have family like all the way on the East Coast in like New Hampshire. But if I have family still in Georgia by the time I fly back to the States, it would be kind of sick to like go visit them in Georgia. That gives me a nice excuse to just drive over to Tennessee or something. That would be sick. The only thing is I'm pretty sure this year they're moving back to the West Coast, but we'll see. Oh, I do love just watching these tracers just impact. And I like watching these spaceships get shot out of the sky. And I like these auto turrets because they're just like balls, just these yellow balls that shoot out bullets. I need to make like a sound for those things exploding. If we're dreaming, then this time next year I have this game in a state where it's generating some amount of income and then I can manage that. Then I'll most likely be trying to move back to the PNW. Let's stay in this dreaming state because I'm enjoying it. Because hopefully also by then I have this game in a position where it has some sort of either funding from crowdsourcing or whatever. And then the means aren't an issue. Probably somewhere outside Seattle this time. Okay. Oh, we got it. There we go. Okay. But yeah, that would be sick. Honestly, dude, with all of the games, all the prototypes you've made that look sick and have just that game feel, like you've made some really unique prototypes and stuff. Don't got a gift? Hey man, I can't have you watching ads. That would be inappropriate. Or something. I don't know. All I was saying is that would be sick for you to move if you were able to generate some income. And I think you definitely could. With all the prototypes you have, and with how many of them are like super unique, honestly, dude, I know it's a lot of work, but you could just you could start building an audience with like YouTube videos that just show off your little prototypes. It is a lot of work to edit them and make them high quality, but the amount of sheer work you have under your belt in these dope looking prototypes, like some of them are cool in their gameplay, other ones just look really cool. There's so many things you could do with like marketing yourself through just videos, whatever it is, or just by continuing to make them until you finish one that's like full game status, and then your style is unique. The projects you make are unique. You can make a wide range of different games. So I have supreme confidence in your ability to make something dope. So yeah, I could definitely see that. I know, like, for me right now, I'm trying to focus on just what my strengths are, which is why I'm trying this project, which is just nail the vibes, because I think that's what I can do. Like, I've already got a pretty decent vibe from this game, and it's very bare bones right now, or this project. It's not even really much of a game. But, like, these buildings, I'm just reusing the same building, but I can make this background look so much better. I can add more. Once I add the mechs are going to be hard. That's a lot more animating and stuff, but... And just the story is going to be hard because there will be a lot of scripted animation, I guess. But just focusing on what I am strong in, that's what I'm trying to do. And then I also need to start making YouTube videos and stuff. Might try YouTube more. I just got to figure it out. Right now, my obstacles are just time and effort and discipline in one project. And then the $100 for a Steam page. Yeah. Thinking about doing actual devlogs, like with a script and video editing. Do it for sure. Try it out. They can be really small at first, because like it doesn't need to be super high effort early on until you know what you're doing with it and can get like quick and efficient. Because video editing is pretty hard. Oh, thank you for the ban. Video editing is pretty hard. Like, it's time consuming and stuff. But it's, you get really good at it fast, I feel like, when you're doing it consistently. I'm gonna try to make a video on my build plugin. Oh shoot. I don't know if I'll have time this weekend. What day is it? Is it Thursday today? Oh, it's Friday. Okay. Well, maybe next week then. I'm going to try to make a video just for my plugin. And I think that'll help get me in the headspace of it. And then I'm going to start also doing devlog style things. Done a bit of video editing, not a ton, but I did do some Let's Plays back in the day. Exactly. I mean, it doesn't take much, right? Like, if you got a script and you're just showing off a cool game, the main thing is you do want to capture the progress at, like, different stages and stuff, which you don't have to be filming constantly, but you could just, I guess you could just take stream clips and stuff and be like, then I added this, blah, 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 you know. And just use your stream footage. But I think devlogs are a good way to make an audience, because I think people just enjoy watching them, especially when the visuals of the game are really good. So if you've got a really cool visual style, then that's huge. Like, I think this project would be great for a devlog, because it's just, I can just place the character here and let it play a little bit, and it just looks cool. Haven't done any like script writing and stuff like that. Yeah, I wouldn't focus too much on script writing unless you want to try to get good at it. Otherwise, you could probably just do like a general outline and then kind of wing it and just re-record when you're like mess something up. But yeah, because when I try to write like a full script, it takes a long time, and I do a little better at just winging it. Like on my channel, what do I have? So I had this video. Oops.
What's up, boys?
Which
Today,
is just,
I'm going to
I
show
like
you the
partially
latest meta
scripted
in
this
Hunt
one.
Showdown Tactics.
This is when I was playing a lot
What
of
you are
Hunt.
about to see is by far the most fun and interesting way I've played the game since I started a few months.
So I scripted like the opening,
Began from one idea.
and then I kind of ad-libbed
Mortar teams.
the rest of the
A few weeks ago, I began floating the
narration
idea of
or
using
whatever.
explosive tipped arrows to essentially lob accurate indirect fire from a covered position without the enemy
This
way
video was a
quickly
lot of
and
fun to work on.
effectively measure the
It took a lot of time, but
boom,
let's see.
and then just
And
add
now when I
or
rewatch it,
subtract
I'm like, oh, I
one
could have made
from
it
this
so much
total,
shorter and
have to
easier.
find the default and do the math. Initial, yeah.
Let's see.
Well, adjust plus half.
Yeah, because like the whole first half of this is just us training our new idea.
Fine.
I could have made that like a 3-minute segment, 2-minute segment.
That's awesome. You didn't see.
But my point was that I did make a script for it early on, and then it was like, it just took a long time to make the script. My issue is trying to explain what's in my head when I'm streaming, and I get new people in. I'm trying to pitch them the game. I stumble so much. Yeah. That's kind of tough, but I think because that's kind of hard for me too, especially like with this. But if you do have like one little hook to it, then maybe that's a little better, a little easier. Like my walking mountain creature that you can build a base on, that's a pretty easy hook to just be like, oh, it's like a survival game, but you have a moving base, you know. Or just, you could just say the genre. I don't know if you have a genre, but. Okay, what I need to start doing is open up Blender here. We're going to do a general. We're going to delete. We're going to do a Shift A. We're going to add a UV sphere. We're going to go to edit mode. We're going to scale this up to about there. Let's see this. Let's go ahead and subdivide it. Let's go into sculpt mode. Okay. We're going to save this. New folder, planet. Okay. Let's go to our materials, add a new base material, grass. Okay, now we have a world. I also got to figure out if I can paint on, I think I can paint on materials. Okay, that doesn't really, whoops. Doesn't really work. I got to figure out how to do that. Yeah, I need to dial in a hook. Like it's roguelike, but with the hero shooter mechanics and set in a cyberpunk fantasy world. I don't care if that's really a hook. I mean, it kind of is. The hook could also just be how it looks. It's just, it looks cool. So you could just be like, it's just a roguelike set in this setting, and it looks really cool. That's the main thing. Because nothing has to have, you don't have to have like big twists on anything. It can just be fun, action packed, and look good. Let's do another one, which is called, let's say, Dirt. Now, can I paint textures or something? Paint. I don't know how to do this. And it doesn't matter. We'll just save this, call it good. We can figure all that stuff out later. Basically, what we need is our main world. Okay. We now go to our scenes. Worlds. Currently, we have main here. We can move that eventually here. Where did I put that? Oh, right there. New scene. Hub. Then we can go to our assets. Go to planet. Instantiate. Okay. Planet needs to have physics, reimport, okay. Editable children, perfect. I'm gonna grab our player. Okay, hub needs a script. Func ready. Global dot main equals self. Now, how do we do this with the planet physics? Okay, what we do is we just go if global dot main, wait, hub has global dot main self. We're gonna say this is class name hub world. Is hub world. We could do something like grav deer equals global position minus global dot main dot global position. Velocity plus equals grav deer dot normalized times 0.98, something like that, maybe. Does that work? Let's go to our 3D hub world. We have it there. I'm going to just put it like this. Put the player out there. And then let's run an F6 on this. I don't know. We'll see if it works. Oh. Oh. Player needs to not. Whoops. Okay, let's just comment that out entirely. Let's go to our hub. Goodness sakes. F6. Okay, now we are falling away from it, which means we just need to do maybe minus equals. Does that make sense? Am I thinking correctly here? Oh my goodness, I keep jumping into the wrong scene. Hub F6. There we go. Okay. Now we can do and not is on floor. Now we need to do something to rotate us. Okay, so that should be the direction to global basis equals grab deer. I don't know. Does that make sense? Or does that break? Goodness sakes. Doing it again. F6. I think this breaks. Yes. Because basis is not a vector 3. Is this where we have to use AI? In Godot, I need it to align the player, the direction of the world he's standing on. It's a small planet, and the player's up direction needs to be aligned with the core of the planet, which is global.made. Okay, let's see if this can tell me. Oh, I could do a basis.y. Was grabbed here? Nope, I did this again. We'll see if this works. It's almost working. What if I do that? Doing a wall walking thing? I'm doing just a planet. Trying to make it so I can... Oh, let me add Sky 3D to this and see what happens. Oh, that doesn't quite work. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to make a planet like the home hub world. This looks cool except for the fact that it ends at the bottom. Check Discord. Let me check. Update oriented. Ooh, okay. That's true. You did this whole thing where you're like... Yeah. Okay. Okay, let me just go ahead and yoink this. Might not need the first part. I have a ray cast that points down to check for a floor. Yeah, I shouldn't need that. Yep. Perfect. Update orientation. So our new basis, which is a basis equals global basis, and then new basis dot y equals target gravity direction, which we can set. We could just do this. Gravdir. Negative gravdir. Okay, and then we got new basis dot x equals negative new basis dot z dot cross gravdir. Then new basis equals new basis dot orthonormalized, then global basis dot lerp. Whoops. Lerp. Is it slurp? Oh, I see. Global basis equals lerp. Global basis. And then we're going to new basis. 5 times delta will do that. Okay. Target gravity direction should be normalized, I assume. I forgot that you did this whole thing with like the wall riding and all of that. Negative gravdir. In here. Whoops. Like. Yes. Okay. You do really need to make sure to set up direction to negative gravity. Is that what I'm doing here when I do the cross? Or, I mean, this? This equals negative gravdir. This equals that. Wait, what am I missing here? Negative new basis z. Negative, okay. I think I'm good there. Up direction is help what? Oh, okay. Determine if it's on floor. So here I could do update orientation, but then before that do up direction. Oh, I guess I can just do that in here because that's where I have. So up direction equals negative gravdir. Okay, let's... Oh. Wait, do I need to do a... One of these needs to be not negative then? So after you set the global basis, do up direction equals negative. Oh, okay. So I don't have to do it before. But this might be one of the signs might need to be flipped then. But otherwise, oh my goodness, it's already working. Okay. Do I just need to change this to just gravdir instead of negative? Oh, come on. Hub, F6. No, okay. That does need to be negative gravity here. But one of these might need to be flipped. Point into the sphere or out of the sphere. It points... gravity here is global position minus the position of the planet. So it points into the sphere. I guess I could just do this, right? Just switch these. I think. Why do I keep... I'm so used to... Okay. F6. Yes. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh, I love it. When you jump, my jump still just adds to your velocity.y. And my movement also just adds to your velocity.x or something. This is velocity.y. Which I'm not really sure. Velocity.y, is that global? So I could do like a up direction. So we could do like var jump deer equals up direction times 40, and then we could do velocity plus equals... Oh wait, no, I could just do jump. I guess I could just do up direction by times 40. Direction. Let's see if that works. Player position sphere, point out the sphere. Yeah. Yeah, dude, this is sick because this is going to be our home world, you know. Okay, so we need to... Okay, jump seems to work. Nice. Now, our movement is still messed up because our get axis, get move input. Vector 3 dot up here. Maybe I just do up direction. I don't know what that VY is doing. Sent the entire player controller script from that old project. Okay. Oh. We got no gravity. That's because I turned gravity off. But we can do that. Let me make sure this works then. Nice. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I'll have to take a look at that because... Okay, so when I'm up here, then my input directions are all great. Then I start going here, and all of my stuff starts going backwards because I think it's the player's camera. So input X. Spring arm rotation dot Y. Rotated around the up direction. What happens if I just do this and this? I don't know what that velocity dot Y equals VY thing. It seemed to affect my jump. Because we were setting it to 0 and then it's like we were setting the velocity after we get the move input. Okay. But I think that maybe that'll help us on this hub. No, we still can't seem to get any maybe we do need that stuff. Okay. I should just take a look at your code. Multiplying the velocity by global basis dot inverse. That might work, but not sure. Okay. Well, basically, I need global basis. Do that at the end. Okay. Velocity equals velocity times global basis dot inverse. Something like that. Okay, I'm still able to move around here. Then if I go into my hub, oh. Now I am Floaty Man. Ooh, that looks really cool. I mean, really what I'm trying to do is just get the direction I'm looking around the up axis. Right? Rotated. So the direction is input X. Oh, I see why we're adding this velocity back in. Okay. So rotated around the up direction. Spring arm rotation dot Y. Basis dot Y? No, that doesn't work. Rotation dot Y, so the amount of rotation. It's rotated by the amount of rotation around the up direction. Velocity dot Y. Is it just... It wasn't just this thing, right? So I'm getting the movement direction, multiplying it by the global basis inverse so that I can then do some velocity limits and multiplying it by global basis again to translate it back into the proper space. Past me's code is confusing, yep. Okay. Transform dot basis. So we do have a direction which is just with local velocity. Rotate it around the... Oh, but our spring arm rotation might be... Okay, this right here, rotation.y, is this in local space? Because it's taking our spring arm, like our camera direction, which is attached to the spring arm, which gets rotated. So then maybe it's something in here that I need to adjust. What I would do instead of that line is that of the line that has rotated method, do this. Dear vector 3 transform basis times vector 3 input x, input y normalized. That translates the input vector into your character's space. Okay, let me take a look here. So instead of this, dear whoops, vector 3 equals just copy this. So the only thing is then I don't think my character even rotates. Yeah. It's just the spring arm that rotates. But what I could do is I could probably do something like this. Well, let me just... Okay, now I'm rotating the character. I'm also rotating him looking up and down, which is kind of fine because he's no longer a model. And then if I go here, does that fix everything? Why? Why, yes, it does. I just might need to turn up my lerp speed. Oh, no, it doesn't. Dang it. Almost. There's still something wonky with... Oh, you know what? Because we still need the spring arm. Well, okay, we can. I think we can just make it so the spring arm can roll up and down. What if we do that? Change it back to... Okay, right now it's rotating the character around the up direction. But it's rotating the spring arm. That could work too. Huh? Oh, but our... Something else is now backwards. Yep. Now our mouse relative X and Y are messed up. I think we need to figure out the local space stuff versus... Sent a screenshot of the move method. So you're saying just keep it as spring arm separate from the model or the character rotation. Okay, move there. Get move input. Oh, I already have this. Input there. And then you've got vector 3 transform basis times vector 3 input.x 0 input.y.normalized. And then we have local velocity, which is the global basis.inverse times velocity. Oh, okay. Let me try that. I might need to set the local velocity somewhere. Or do I want that? Let me think. We need just the local rotation around the up direction, right? Which it seems like this should be that. Do I need this local velocity thing? Okay. Change that spring arm stuff back, and then where you did transform.basis, do spring arm.transform.basis. .transform.basis. Okay. Local velocity is the global velocity translated into this local space. That way you can limit the velocity as if you were standing up, even if it's on the bottom of the sphere. Okay, so I probably do want that. Where do I set that? Because that's not a... is it fine to set it in here? Or were you updating it somewhere else? Global basis inverse. Times velocity. And then this would be deer. Well, I guess let me just check how this works like this. Oh my goodness. I'm doing it again, but well, I guess I can check if it works here. Okay, that seems to work. Go to hub. Oh, now I'm able to float up. So I still have something that's off. Yep, because now I'm flying backwards even though I'm pointed forwards. Okay, I have something off. These are the things that kill me with 3D. So we take the global velocity, translate it into the player's local space, do some limiting on the local velocity so the player doesn't move laterally in its own space too fast. Or we apply some friction by local velocity dot x time equals 0.9. Then after that, we translate local velocity back into velocity, global velocity. You just need it in that function right now? Okay. It's confusing, don't feel bad. Yeah, I mean, this stuff is the stuff that gets me. Okay, so I am going to do this then. Local velocity. Now, should this be spring arm dot global basis? Or is it just global basis? I think that's just global basis, right? If deer dot length is greater than 0, okay, so we're basically doing this here. What we were doing before there. So then local velocity equals local velocity dot limit length. I'll just do 6.0 as well. Okay. Oh, times equals 9. Local velocity, global basis. Should be fine with global basis. You can probably not worry about that part of the code from my snippet and just replace velocity with local velocity in your current if sprinting checks. Yeah, I'll see what happens here real quick. Okay, I can move. Whoops, this is the player. Oh, I'm still sliding. Okay, I can move. Oh, I'm sliding. Nah, I'm getting stuck here again halfway. Weird. Yeah. Basically, I just need the up direction. Or the forward direction. Of my spring arm, I guess. Why is that? Where am I moving and sliding? Up here after get move input. Oh, we do have this. Oh, that's just the model rotation, which the model isn't even being used anymore. You're rotating the player around the y-axis, not the camera pivot. I think it could, because you're rotating it around its own y-axis. I am rotating around... This is all local space, I think. Update orientation. I'm going to put this at like 10 to speed it up a little. The transform basis of the spring arm. Does it make a difference if this is a... Oh, whoops. No, that's a transform basis. Global basis, that can't be... Nah, I don't know. I'm just trying to... I don't understand this, the 3D transforms and all that. Huh? Maybe? Just doing global basis instead? That seems to be working. Try rotating player around Y instead of spring arm, but leave the X rotation and then change from transform to just transform. This global basis thing might be working. One thing I could do... Let me just up that and see if that fixes my... Well, I kind of need to want to bring the speed thing back. I mean, that... Send a screenshot of how the player controller is set up, so if you ever want to try recreating it, you can. That would be sick. But I think I can do... Do I need this stuff? Or can I do... What was it saying? You were saying do this? Okay. Yeah. So that still works. Because just changing it to global basis did make it align things. Oh. Oh boy. Now we're back to not working. Okay. Let's go ahead and go back to the player. And let's bring this back in. And let's go like that. Oh, now we're sliding still. Can I just do a lot more damping? Goodness sakes. Then it just stops me right away. But I like bounce off of it and then start sliding. So this does work with the directions, I just don't have the... Why doesn't this work? Wait, maybe having both works, but then I have this weird, like... have this weird bounce that happens when you stop. I know what it is. Defo try it so that you rotate the player around the y-axis and then change it from spring arm global basis to just transform. It's because when you're rotating the camera up or down, you're changing what down is for the player so it slides. Ah. Okay. So. And then this becomes just transform dot basis. Do I need to do a negative somewhere there? Nope, that doesn't work. Why is it driving me in the... Oh, I'm rotating the model, but because I'm also, am I still rotating the Y? No, this should be correct. Comment out the sprinting checks. Okay. Oh. So it does eventually come around. It just takes forever to rotate it. So it is doing the thing. It's just that we have all this velocity built up. So, what happens if I just do this here? Weird. Now it doesn't even rotate us back in. So we do need this. 0.25 to have it change faster, and the 24 is your max speed, so you can change that if you're sprinting. Okay. Let me comment out the sprinting again. Okay. Oh, perfect. So the 24 limit length would be, I could just do like a limit equals 12 if sprinting limit equals 24, and then do limit. And then I don't need sprinting there. The character controller I'm very unconcerned about doing properly, as long as it works in these two scenarios somewhat. So normal speed, sprinting. Okay, sick. Now we can just up this to what do we have? Speed is 20. So let's do speed. Limit equals limit times 2. Do we have a sprint speed? Nope. That fixed the sphere? The sphere, I think, well, let me try it. So now you have a lot more, like, velocity there, but that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. It takes a while to turn when you're going faster. But I like this. Oh, interesting though. You don't really slow down unless you move. Unless you rotate. So do we need some sort of dampening? Oh, this right here maybe? That's why. Okay. I'm still cooking right now. Why do I still have a ton of velocity even when I let go? So here I'm cooking, I let go, and I am just blasting unless I turn. Let me check the sphere though. And also, oh, now I'm not falling. Oh boy, and now now the sphere does not. Although, could I just do global basis? Because that seemed to work. Instead of transform.basis, doing global basis. That seemed to work when I was doing it like that. Well, is it? Let me go back to player. Let's bring these back up to 0.9. 0.9. Nope. F6. Okay, now I fall. But turning is really tough because it's turning the model and what happens if I don't lerp the basis? If I just do calling that method every frame or only on unhandled input calls. The rotation I'm calling on unhandled input. That might be friction isn't working unless you're turning. Ah. Okay, that's... I can't just set it to be. Because I'm already changing the basis. Also, everything is like inverted. That's weird. Yeah, I'm checking. Let me get some coffee.
There's some awesome level design in Super Mario Galaxy, where you can walk around planets with their own gravitational attraction, letting you walk upside down and travel from one planet to another. By taking advantage of Godot's powerful physics options, creating this style of 3D
Why is this so
planet is way easier than you would
laggy?
expect.
Huh.
This mechanic has two parts. The planet, that applies gravity to the character when it's near one of them, and the character
I would have to use
that
a
moves
rigid
around
body.
planets and gets attracted to them. For the character, we'll
That's
use
the
a
only
rigid
thing.
body to rely on Godot's built-in physics as much as possible. For the planet, we need two key nodes. A static body
Well,
to
actually, I
walk
wouldn't
on,
need to use
and
a
an
rigid
area.
body as
The
long as I
area
know how to
handles all
rotate.
the complicated math involved in attracting the character. For the planet, we
'cause the
make a
gravity
static
part
body
we
node
got.
with a spherical mesh instance and a matching sphere collision
But if he
technique.
talks about
We then add
the
an
rotation
area
side,
position and increase the stations already made and ready to go. Now we need right prevent changes. Character to the planet as they move.
Okay.
All the player's movement happens in the integrate forces virtual function, which is unique to rigid bodies. Like in 2D, we first calculate the player's input direction. We then use the X-form function to turn the vector to face the same way as the model.
Okay. I have a sneeze. Okay.
X-form is shorthand.
Multiplied by the matrix. Okay. Model.transform.basis. X form. That could be big. We're rotating the model. Or we're rotating the player. Let's try something like this. Equals, what is dot basis X form input okay, that doesn't exist anymore. I gotta lurk for a few, but if you have a question before I get back, just ping me. Sounds good, brother.
And for transform, it applies an object's transform to a vector or another transform. We move the player.
Okay. Well, that doesn't work. Basis no longer works. What if I just do times velocity? Oh. Oh. Okay. Without that other stuff. Okay. Plus deer. Weird. What if we just set it to velocity? It's also limiting our local velocity. Oh. Was this the whole reason why it's breaking? Why it wasn't, It is! My goodness, I just typed Y instead of Z there. I'm pretty sure now it just might work. Well, let's see on the hub. Oh, we do get some weirdness with the rotations. Like now it's inversed, which means we just need to go around that just means our rotation script here rotation.y What if I go back to this and do spring arm here again? Does that basically do the same thing? Okay, now it just works. Sick. Dang, and it works pretty well. Okay, we figured it out. Nujank guided me in the right direction. It's just my character controller was built differently than normal. We don't need a Sky 3D. What we need is a delete. On the hub, we need 3D. Need to go here. Whoops. Add an environment to the scene. World environment. Sky. New sky. Physical sky. Panoramic sky, okay. Panorama. Let's go into our files and just grab that one that we've used. Dude, I just want to copy. Did that work? Okay, nice. Actually, let's do a mesh instance 3D. We're going to take away the directional light. We're going to put a spotlight 3D. No, let's just do an omni light. Easier. Okay, this mesh instance is going to be, I guess we could just do a sphere. Is it 40? Oops. Okay. Perfect. New Jank, thank you for all this help because now this is perfect. This is starting to come together. See, all you need is a little New Jank in your life if you're trying to build games. There we go. Okay, so now that we have that, sun, we're going to put it right there. Let's do a quick F6. Nice. Now we need to make this thing fly around. Actually, do we even need this on a separate one, or can we just... Okay. We can just go here to hub world. Grab the sun. We could draw maybe or a path 3D. What is it? Path? Yeah. Okay. Point 2 is going to be zero zero. Oh, whoops. 0 0. Do another one that's at 1,000, and then another one that's at negative 1,000. Negative 1,000. Whoops. Negative 1,000. Close curve. Did that work? Yes. Okay. I guess I don't need this fourth point then. I can delete that. Nope. There we go. Make it elliptical. You can do 0 there, and 0 there. And then on the Z, we can do 0 and 0. Whoops. But on the Y, we can do 0 and 0. Okay, sweet. Okay, we have a vaguely circular shape here. Nope. Why is this? Why am I like this? Always opening the wrong world. Okay. Where's our sun? Nice. Okay. Where you going, buddy? You're flying all over the place. Okay. What's up with that? Oh. Because the transform. Okay. Still a little weird that it did that, like, bounce. Goodness sakes, can I just get back to where I'm trying to be? I'm gonna have to take off here pretty quick. Okay, let's make this planet. Bigger. Let's maybe make it like 3. Let's grab our player F, go here, drag him up. Keep doing that. I need to just set this as the main scene. I feel like this is still maybe a little too small. How's the progress? Good. I did figure it out. It just took a little mapping of your system to how I set up my character controller. But now it works great. I've made the planet a little bigger too. And we've got a little sun here that's on kind of a rough orbit pattern. But now I just need to fill out the planet with fun little decorations. Maybe put some grass on it. I could do some grass. Let's do that right now. Multi-mesh. Boom, mesh. Populate surface, target surface. Sphere. Okay. Source mesh. Oh, I need a mesh instance 3D. That has the mesh, I think. Grass. How do I just get the mesh from this again? I'm always worried when I recommend code because I'm like, man, I sure hope I didn't just bork his product or project. Oh, that's the nice thing about when it comes to like character controller things, it just needs, for me, it just needs to work in some way. I'm a very much good enough type of person, and I know we're gonna get there. Dang, do I have to export? I always forget how to export a material or a mesh within here. I can just go find the grass blend. I'll export. Wait, GLTF doesn't even, whoop. GLTF doesn't even work in this case. Okay, cool. Why is that not popping up? Okay, my window manager thing just clearly needs to be disabled. It's not working the way I want it to. Blender, file, export. I think I have to do like a FBX or OBJ or something. Okay. Now we have this. I can throw that in there. I can't put a material on it? Are you kidding me? Oh, now I can. Make unique. Shader material. Shader. Quick load. Grass. Blip. Quick load. Grass. We'll do that. Okay, sweet. Maybe we can do this now. Populate surface sphere. Source mesh. Mesh instance 3D. Okay. Okay, let's see what happens. I keep opening up the wrong scene. This is not enough grass. We need, like, way more. It also doesn't seem to have the material on it. Or does it? Oh, I do need to bounce pretty soon, too. Yeah, there's no material on this? Or is there? Oh, maybe there is. It's just, why does it look so weird? Is that seriously 30,000 pieces of grass? Because maybe I need to do like 60,000. Populate. And then let's do our Omni Light. Let's do energy 200. Range 2,500. 300. Goodness sakes. Keep opening the wrong scene. Oh, these... The grass shader is clearly not working as intended. It looks super weird. And the way they move is really weird. This is this weird shader that I had before, which does look pretty cool in some ways, but it just doesn't work because it's not customizable enough. But I do want to see how it looks on this. Oh, you can't even see the other particles. But that does look pretty sick. But there's just weird artifacting and stuff, so it's just not something I can do. But something I can do is I can turn off that. I can go to main, outline shader, copy, go to hub, paste. King Kai's planet. Can I stop doing that? I'm unfamiliar, but okay, now we have our outline shader. Oh, one thing we should do is go to our sun, or no, not our sun, our sphere. Oh, that's in Blender. Open recent planet. This needs to be full roughness. Okay. This looks kind of cool, except for the fact that the grass is so weird. But we can go to our... There we go. Now it's not as bad. Oh. I don't know what just happened, but now we're falling. Dragon Ball Z reference, okay. Ah, and here comes the planet again. Blip. Gotta say, it's just kind of fun flying around. But I do need to bounce. So let me real quick make sure everything works just fine on the regular planet. Seems like it's working okay. Project's looking dope. Looking forward to seeing your progress. Thanks, brother. Well, thank you for your help, too, because I've wanted to make this little hub world for a while. And it's nice to have it, like, work like that, because all it is just a little spot where you load into these worlds. But then that's where, like, the main NPC character is. But it's nice having, I can get that vibe. But yeah, thanks, man. I do need to bounce out, though. I really got to run. But yeah, once again, thank you, brother. It was good to see you, too. I'm trying to stream earlier and earlier. Right now, the time difference is different because we already went into daylight savings. So right now, it's 12:16 p.m. So I'm trying to stream earlier and earlier in the day so that I can still hang out with the people during the same time slot that I normally would stream. Either way, it's going to be later than I normally would stream for people like on the West Coast or whatever. But trying to get to that point, you know. It's 5 a.m. there. Yeah. So, but I'm trying to get that figured out where it's like I can still see all the people. I'm not basically leaving all of the people who want to watch out in the, rough, but streaming around 3 to 5 p.m. my time. Okay. Which is, if you're about, 7? Well, right now, maybe 8 hours or 7 hours behind or something. I don't know. Need to get back on a fixed schedule. That's what I'm trying to do. But yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to take off. So we will see you later, man. Good to have you here. Also, thank you, Entertainment3333 in the YouTube chat. Appreciate you, brother. But yeah, we'll see y'all later. Peace out. Oh, Thornbad. Good to see you as well. Peace out. Hope you have a good one. But yeah.